A pleasant good evening. Welcome to Early to CXC. We are going to look through the year 2024 May-June OA exam, paper 1. This is in preparation for exam that is carded for tomorrow, please God. So let's begin. The exam consists of 60 multiple choice questions. 60, you're going to get 60. And please remember, for each multiple choice question, two answers will be extremely wrong. It's going to be wrong. And then two answers may look as though it's the correct answer. Your job is to choose the best answer for each question. So let's begin. Question number 1. Let's go. Now, what I will do is I will put a slash across the number indicating that this is a repeated question. All right, so I'll put a slash indicating that it is a repeated question. So you can look out for those questions. So let's go. Number 1. Employees in a large organization are most likely to have C, a high degree of specialization. A high degree of specialization. Okay? That's a C. All right. So I'm going to circle this one, indicating that it is a repeated question. Number 2, the science of outfitting the workplace to meet the needs of employees is known as the big boy called ergonomics. Now, ergonomics has to do with the furniture that you're using. It has to do with the temperature in the room. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? It has to do with the lighting. All these things must be appropriate for the workers to produce what they have to produce while at the job. Question number 3. Which of the following is the most appropriate medium for communicating between offices? Between offices. The keyword there, between, that is the keyword. Now, this is a new question. This is what we call a new question. And the answer is C. C. Now, each person, each department will have their own extension. Whether it's 224 or 1456, that is how they will communicate between offices using extensions, right? Question number 4. A clerk in a small organization feels that some improvements should be made to the filing system. What is the most, listen to the question, what is the most appropriate action for him to take? Discuss the ideas with the general manager, make the changes he feels are necessary, discuss his ideas with the supervisor, or continue with the old system until he's asked for an opinion. The most appropriate action to take is C. Discuss his ideas with the supervisor. You will be working with your supervisor, not the manager. So you liaise with your supervisor. Question number 5. Which of the following is not a characteristic of registered mail? We use registered mail when we have an important document to mail to a recipient. You want to make sure they get it in their hand. There's no theft, no misplacement. We want to sign up for a service called registered mail, where these persons will get that mail I want to post out in their hands. So which one is not a characteristic? The answer is C. Normally sent by second-class mail. This is not a characteristic of registered mail. All right, the rest of them are characteristics of registered mail. Question number 6. Now, this is a repeated question. So I'm going to circle the repeated questions so you will have an idea. A caller to a business asked to speak to a manager only. What type of call should the operator make? That will be a person-to-person call. All right. Question number 7. Question number 7. A customer called and inquired about a letter which had been sent to the firm a month ago. However, the letter could not be found. To determine if the letter was received, the mail clerk should refer to the mail register. Anytime a mail comes in, we must record it in the mail register so we can track letters, right? Now, this is a repeated question, so I'm going to circle it. I'm going to circle the questions that are repeated over the years. Question number 8, repeated question, I'm going to circle it. Which of the following pieces of equipment is used to arrange the pages of a document in order? And that is a collator. Question number 9. Question number 9. Let's go. Take your time when you're answering these questions. The person who received the phone call and recorded the message is, now this telephone message form came from the topic communication. So who received the phone call and recorded the message? All right, we're looking there. Who received it? That will be W. Daniel. W. Daniel. D. Okay, 10. This is a repeated question, so I'm going to circle it. And number 9 is also a repeated question. 10. Which of the following is an optional section in a resume? Which one is optional? That will be C, list of academic awards. It's optional. We don't really have to put it in. Everything else, we must put it in our resume, except that academic awards, that's optional. We don't have to put that. Question number 11, repeated question, so I'm going to circle it. 3 months have passed since you applied for a job at a large firm. You have only received a letter of acknowledgement. What is the most appropriate action to be taken? The most appropriate action will be B, write a letter to follow up on the application. That is the most appropriate action to take. 12, Paul is applying for a job at a local bank. Which of the following statements describes his curriculum vitae? Which one? That will be A. An extended list of his dossier and interests. That is A. Please go into your dictionary and just read up on this. Read up on this, because if you don't know the meaning of this, you will not get this answer correct. All right? 13. This is a repeated question. 13 is a repeated question, so I'm going to circle 13. I'm going to circle that. Let's go. 13. You work in the records management department of a large firm. Now, this question came from records and information management. In what order should you file correspondence from the following 3 clients? What is the order? Now, when we are filing, we're going to look at surnames. So we have Wolf, Wolford, and Woolworth, right? So let's go. W, W, W. Now, when we're filing, we're singing the alphabet in our minds. But all of them start with W. So who to file first? Now, if you are in a position like this, we go to the rules. If the first letter is the same, you go to the second letter. So the second letter is O. So we have O, O, and O. We still don't know who to file first. Going back to the rules, first letter is the same, you go to the second. Second letter is the same, then you go to the third. The third, L, up against O, and then up against another O. So when we're singing the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. L comes first, right? So therefore, you're going to have to file Wolf. Big boy Wolf will be filed first. All right? Wolf will be filed first. Who will be filed second? Go to the fourth letter, L up against L. Well, then we have to go to the next letter. If you're going to the next letter, F up against W. Singing the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F. So the next person we're going to file is Wolford. Then Woolworth. So in out of all of these here, which one is first? Where we have Wolf, then Wolford, and Woolworth, right? That will be C. C. Wolf first, Wolford, and then Woolworth. C. All right, let's go to question number 14. Question number 14. All right, so we're going to circle question number 14. That is a repeated question. So we're going to circle 14. All right. The accounts department has requested a file from the central filing department. Which of the following actions should the file clerk take? This is a repeated question. Find out if the file is available. Yes. Ask the person receiving the file to sign for it. Of course. Complete an outsheet and place it in the file. Of course, we must do that. What is an outsheet? The outsheet signifies that the file is not there. And on the outsheet, it will outline who took the file, the time they took the file, what is the name of the person who took the file, what department they belong to, and when they expect to return the file. So that is the outsheet. Now, all of them must be done. All of these must be done. So the answer will be D. 1, 2, and 3. 15. Repeated question, so I'm going to circle it. Which of the following would be most suitable for storing inactive soft copies of files? The key word here is soft. The key word is soft. So which one could we file inactive files if it's soft copies? Now, soft means electronical, some sort of email, whether it's on a flash drive, the computer hard drive system. So the answer will be A. A, right? Hard copies is physical copies that you can actually touch. Soft is the opposite. 16. Right, this is a repeated question. Number 16 is a repeated question. In which of the following situations is cross-referencing not needed? A document is to be placed under a special name for easy retrieval. D. 16D. Let's go to 17. An advantage, okay, 17 is a repeated question. When I say repeated, you will see it in the years. Different past papers, you will see the same questions. An advantage of centralized filing is that now we have centralized filing and decentralized filing. Centralized filing is where all the records, all the filing system must be stored in one place. Decentralized filing is where each department has access to their own filing system. So that one is more expensive, right? So centralized filing is when all the records, all the filing system is managed in one place. So that answer will be C. Number 17, C. Let's go to number 18. Number 18 is a repeated question. So far, we just saw one new question. 18. You are a receptionist and your employer has asked you to cancel his appointment with an important client. What is the most suitable action to take? Contact the client, apologize, and inform him or her that the appointment has been cancelled. That is the most suitable response there, right? 18A. Number 18 will be A. Let's go to 19. Number 19 is a repeated question, so I'm going to circle it. All right. Which of the following services would usually be offered to customers who have fixed deposit accounts at a commercial bank? Remember, when you have fixed deposit accounts, if you're walking through the mall and you see a nice pair of shoes, you cannot withdraw any money from your fixed deposit accounts to purchase anything. So it's fixed, it's there. The only time you can get it when it reaches its maturity dates, then you'll have access to it. So number 19, the most logical and most appropriate answer is B, higher interest rates than those offered on savings accounts, right? Fixed deposit, can't write any checks to withdraw any money, and you can't withdraw any money from your savings account once you have a fixed deposit account. Can't withdraw any money, right? Question number 20. An executive has to attend an overseas meeting and will have to make reference to correspondence on file. This is a repeated question. This question came in 2021, right? Repeated question. The most appropriate procedure which should be used by the secretary to allow the executive to have the relevant information is to give him, let's see, look at the responses, look at the answers. All right, so the most appropriate procedure would be D. Now, when they brought this question in 2021, they changed up the responses. It came a little bit different. If you have access to 2021 paper, go through that paper and you would see a question just like this. On top here is the same thing, but the responses is different. The answers they gave you to choose is different, right? So be very careful with this. 2021, I think they had where you can scan the information and send it to him via email or flash drive or something like that. That will be the answer. If they give you that response, that will be the answer. But they change up things in this question here. So if you get access to 2021, look at that question, you will see it. Question 21. A visitor to an office wishes to see a senior executive. He asks to be introduced as AG. The receptionist should respond by, let's see which one is the most suitable answer. Telling the executive that AG is there to see him. Refusing to contact the executive until the visitor gives his name. That's not no. Sending the visitor to see the executive without giving the executive his name. Explaining that she is required by the company to record the names of visitors. Which one here is appropriate? I think the most appropriate response will be D, and nothing is wrong with that. Sir, could you tell me what AG stands for? I need to record the names of all visitors. Very kindly, very respectfully, right? Because nobody knows what AG stands for. Right, 22. In a meeting, which of the following persons would be allowed a casting vote? Who is allowed a casting vote in a meeting? That will be the chairman. The chairman. Question number 23. This looks like it is a petty cash book. Right. On the 30th of April, the firm received a voucher for $16.50. What is the voucher? A voucher is a document that gives you access for the petty cashier to release funds from the petty cash drawer to give you to purchase items, petty items for the office. That's the voucher. So the firm received a voucher for $16.50 for the purchase of car headlights. In which analysis column of the petty cash book would this entry be made? So, okay, car headlights. Where would we record car headlights? Would it be in stationery? Is a car headlight a stationery? No. Would it be under postage? Is a car headlights any sort of postage? Is it an envelope? Is it a stamp? No. What about traveling? Car headlights fall under traveling. Traveling has to do with taxi fares. Is car headlights part of the taxi fare? No. So then where would we store or record car headlights? If none of these is suitable for the recording of car headlights, what do? You file it under miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. And this is a fairly new question here. 24. What sum of money is required to restore the interest as at April the 1st? Now, this question here, what sum of money is required to restore the interest? So all you have to do is add all these accounts. You're adding everything. Come down. Add it. Add it. Add it. Add it. Add it. Right? So when you add all of this, you should get $77.50. That's what you should get, $77.50. Now the float is $100. You're going to spend $77.50. You remain with $22.50. If you're going into April month and you only have $22.50 in your hand, how much money do you need to put together with the $22.50 so you can get $100? How much money will you need? How much? $77.50. Exactly the same amount of money you spent. That's the same amount of money you need to restore the interest. Understand? If I give you $20 for the month and you only spend $10, you remain with $10. Right? That's your allowance. If you go into another month, how much more money you need to put with that $10 so you can get back $20? 10. Exactly the amount you spent. Right? Let's go to 25. This is a fairly new question. 25, which of the following records would show an employee's duties, grade, and salary? Their duties, grade, and salary. Which one will show their duties, grade, and salary? The contract will show that, and the job specifications will definitely show that. Company manual, no. So 25 is A. This is a new question. 25 is a new question. 26, repeated question. Within a meeting context, a proposal that action be taken is known as a motion. Motion in the ocean. Motion. 27. A member of staff could not remember what decision was taken on a particular subject at the last meeting. Which of the following records should she refer to for the information? At a meeting, the chairperson could designate the secretary, or the chairperson can take the minutes of the meeting. In the event that we have anyone who was absent, we can just send out the minutes to them. So they would be aware of what decisions took place at the meeting. So therefore the answer is C, minutes. New question. 27 is a new question. 28. What is the purpose of maintaining a reception register in the organization? Repeated question. The purpose for the reception register. What is the reception register? Any visitor who is walking in must sign the register for the time you came, the name, your name, who you came to see. All right. What is the purpose of this? To record the number of persons who visit the organization. All right, that's D. Let's go to 29. 29. Repeated question. 29 is a repeated question. Which of the following terms is used to describe a committee which has been set up to deal with a specific matter? Ad hoc. Hands down, ad hoc, a sudden meeting designed to deal with a specific matter. 30, repeated question. I'm circling it because it's a repeated question. In what order should the following items on an agenda be arranged? First thing, apologies. That's number 1. Then you're going to read out the minutes of the last meeting. Then you deal with the matters arising from the last meeting. And then any other business. So what is the answer there? It is C. C. 31. One important personal quality of an efficient receptionist is, this is a new question. One important personal quality of an efficient receptionist is suitable grooming, the ability to type, excellent memory, or mathematical ability. No, receptionist, right? Quality must be the ability to type. The ability to type. 32. Repeated question. 32 repeated. A businessman is traveling to a country where the time is 1 hour ahead of the time in his country. If the plane departs at 12 noon and the flight takes 1 hour and 15 minutes, what time will it be when he arrives at his destination? Okay, so it's 1 hour ahead. Plane departs at 12, so currently it's now 1 p.m. Flight takes 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's 2:15. So what is 2:15 using the 24-hour clock? 2:15 is 14:15 hours. 33. Your employer wishes to hold a meeting in the staff room on the 18th of June at 8 a.m. Which of the following documents should be prepared and distributed prior to the meeting? We have to do the notice and agenda. Right? The notice and the agenda. The notice is a document showing who must attend the meeting. And on that document, it will list the venue, time, the dates of the meeting, and the agenda. What is the agenda? A list of topics to be discussed at a meeting. Question 34. A visa is used to permit
I have a class going on.
Entry into a specific territory for an agreed period. All right? Entry into a specific territory for an agreed period. Okay, let's go to question 35. Question number 35.
Yeah.
You'll be able to work somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay. Which of the following is least likely? Which of the following is least likely to be found on personal records? Which of the following is least likely to be found on personal records? Employment history, training certificates, employee handbook, or disciplinary correspondence. The most suitable answer is, which of the following is least likely to be found on personal records? That will be employee handbook. Read the question. Remember to read the question carefully, especially when it have least and most and the word not. Read it carefully. Let's go to 36. 36 is a repeated question. The human resource clerk has been asked to review a list of job applicants and to select those who meet the necessary requirements for a job. This process is referred to as shortlisting. 37. Credit cards. This is a repeated question. Credit cards are used instead of cash when traveling abroad because they offer greater security than cash. All right? Remember, 2 answers definitely wrong. And then 2 answers will look like, hey, this could be the answer. Your job is to choose the most suitable answer. Most suitable answer. Let's go to 38. There's a growing feeling among staff that concerns regarding their general welfare, keyword, that's the keyword for here, right, are being overlooked by management. What is the first action the staff should take in an effort to improve the situation? Take industrial action? No. Bring the matter to the attention of the trade union? No, this is last resort. Request a meeting with the head of the organization? No. Request a meeting with the human resource manager. That is who you have to go to, the human resource manager, because human resource department deals with the welfare of employees. This is why I said this is the key word here, welfare. Remember, HR are the parents and the employees are the children. So it's the parents' job to take care of the children. 39. 39 is a repeated question. Almost every year have this question. So we have what looks like an itinerary from Barbados to Jamaica. The schedule above shows that the aircraft will stop in Antigua on its way to Jamaica from Barbados. How long will the aircraft be on the ground in Antigua? So we're counting from 4:25, it's in Antigua, to 7:30. Yeah, so we have to check 4:25 to 5:25, 1 hour. 5:25 to 6:25, that's 2 hours. 6:25 to 7:25, that's 3 hours. So 3 hours so far. And we have 7:25 to 7:30, that's a 5 minutes difference there, right? So the answer is A. 40. Some firms offer, this is a repeated question, this came in 2021. Some firms offer a program which aims to assist new employees in becoming familiar with their jobs. This program is referred to as an induction. Remember the induction? Let me show you where the washroom is. Let me show you where your desk is. Let me show you where the kitchen area is. Induction is showing the new employees around in the business. 41, which of the following procedures should be used for the distribution of a purchase order? New question. 41 is a new question. Which of the following procedures should be used for the distribution of a purchase order? All right. Send the top copy to the supplier. Put a carbon copy in the purchase order file. Send the carbon copy to the accounts department of the buyer. All of them. All of them. So the answer will be D. 1, 2, and 3. Hands down. Sure about that. 42. An employee works for 30 hours per week at a rate of $10 an hour. So that's $300 they're working for the week. If he pays 8% of his gross wage, then what is his net salary? What is the net salary? So to find net salary, you have to deduct any deductions, so minus any deductions from the gross salary. Whatever you remain with in your hand, that is the net salary. Right, so 30 hours a week at a rate of $10. So that's $300. So his salary is $300. Now what we have to do is find 8% of 300. 8 divided by 100 multiplied by 300 is $24. We see any $24 here? No, so that can't be the answer, right? So what we have to do is take 300 and minus the $24. So the answer is B, $276. $276. What? Let me just do this over. Let me write it down. I know some persons are visual learners. So 30 by 10. Where we get the 30 from? The 30 hours that the employee worked for, and they're working for $10 an hour. So each hour we have to pay them $10. That's how we got the $300. Right? That's how we got the 300. So if he pays 8% of his gross wage as PAYE, what is PAYE? It's a form of tax. It means pay as you earn. So what we have to do is find 8%. 8% of 300. Yeah, 8% of 300. So 8 divided by 100, multiplied by 300, we would have gotten $24. So this is $24, right? So he's paying $24 in tax. Now to find out his net salary, how much he going home with, how much he could spend, we take in the 300. Remember, this was his gross salary. And we're gonna minus the $24, which he paid for his tax. And that would have given us $276. So that's why the answer is B. All right. So let's go to 43. Caring Caterers Limited has received its first bank statements for the year. Karen, the owner, notices 2 columns of figures which indicate monies deposited and withdrawn. These columns are called debits and credits. This is a new question. Hot off the press, new. 44. Requests for raw materials at a company are usually very tardy. To which manager should the clerk direct a complaint about the lateness of these requests? It has to be the purchasing officer. Why the purchasing officer? Because it's the purchasing officer who would normally purchase items for all employees in a business. So if the supplier is bringing the raw materials late, then that's the manager we have to go to, the purchasing manager, right? Hey, we need to drop that supplier. They're bringing our raw materials too late. We need to get another supplier. So it has to be the purchases manager. 45. Oh my goodness, they always bring in this question. At the beginning of the year, a firm employs 50 persons. During the year, 10 of these persons, they leave the firm. Can't take working here again. I'm going. Which of the following represents the labor turnover? So what we have to do, a little maths involved here, nothing big. 10 over 50. Remember the exam is tomorrow. 10 over 50. And we're going to multiply this by 100. Right? 50 into 51, 50 into 100, 2, 10 twos are 20%. 45B. 45B. Let's go to 46. We're going to have a check here. The person, Mr. Bruce Hall, to whom the check is made out, is called pay. Hands down, pay. 47. Repeated question. I forgot to circle. On 2nd of October 2021, Mr. Hall attempted to cash the check above at his bank, Savings Bank Limited. His request was denied because the check was post-dated. Nah, he went October. It wasn't post-dated at all. his account was overdrawn? How would we know? We have no information telling us that. It was an open check. Nada. Wasn't open because I'm seeing this here. It was a cross check. That is why. The only thing is I wish CXC would have made it like that. Cross the whole face instead of just putting it right there. That is the reason why he could not withdraw cash the check, right? Because it was a cross check. Let's go with 48. The document which gives a description of items offered for sale is the catalog. 49. The term minimum level on a stock card refers to repeated question. This is a repeated question, okay? 2021. The term minimum level on a stock card refers to the lowest balance of stock allowed. Let's go with 50. 50 repeated, 51 repeated. So 50, we use this in the operations, also known as factory department. So we have 12 questions to make, right? We have 12 questions to make. We have 2 days in which to complete these questions. What items do we need to make the question? We need the fabric, the sponge, and the thread. Making questions. Then we need a stitcher. The stitcher is under labor. How much we're going to pay that stitcher? $200. So the total cost of labor is still $200. Please don't put this as $400. This is a trick by CXC. We're not going to fall into their trap. The total cost of labor is $200. Right? This stitcher here means the labor. Okay? So what we have to do, we're going to add up 600 plus 950. What I get 950 from? 600 plus 250 plus $60 plus 200. That will give us $1,110, right? So we have that for now, 1,110. What is 20% of the overhead charge? So what we have to do is just find 20% of the $1,110, right? So this is where we're going to do a little math. 20 divided by 100 multiplied by $1,110. That will give us $222, right? That's the overhead charge. So the answer is C, 50C. Then the total cost of the job. All you have to do, $1,110 plus 222, which was the overhead charge, right? And what answer that will give us? 51D, $1,332. All right, just take your time. Just take your time and you'll be fine. Let's go to 52. Which of the following documents is used by the petty cashier as a record of purchase and issue of cash to a member of staff? That is the voucher that I explained earlier. You need something to purchase in the office, you must go by the petty cashier with a voucher so that that person could release the funds. 53 refers to the following transactions which occurred during the month of January 2023. This is a repeated question. Assuming that there are no further transactions, what would be the opening balance on the account on February 1st? Notice all of this is in January month. No further transactions. What would be the opening balance? We have 150 here. 200 plus 5, that is 205. And then we have 200 here. 200 here. And then we have 205 coming down here when we add up everything. Right, the credit minus the debit, 205 minus 200, remain with $5. $5 add on to the 150 here. will give us $155. So the answer is B, 53, B. 54. The term, repeated question. The term reorder level is used for goods. All right, let's see the options. Position when the stock level reaches its lowest point. Requested when stock is almost finished. Ordered when stock level is finished. Nope. The answer A, definitely. Hands down. A. 54. A. Let's go to 55. Which of the following types of documents is given specifically for prompt settlement of an account within a given period? This is the cash discounts. Remember, we have different discounts. We have trade, we have bulk, we have special, we have cash. Cash is to encourage persons who are owing, who still owing, to come and settle their payments by giving them a little incentive. 56. Which is the best method of processing inventory data? Inventory data, the best? C, electronic. Best, that's the best. We have a little clock card here, and this little clock card always coming. How many hours did Gary spend at the office? Gary clock card. So what we have to do is count from here to here each day. 7:30 to 4:30, 7:30 to 6:30. So let's go. 7:30 to 4:30. I believe that's 9 hours in between there. 7:30 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30, etc. We count it like that. That's 9. 7:30 to 6:30. 2 hours extra. 10, 11. That'll be 11. 8 to 6, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, that's 10. 10 hours there, 7:30 to 4:30, that's be 9 again. And 7:30 to 4:30 to 9 again. So what we have to do, just add up all the hours. When you add all the hours, add it up, you're going to get 48 hours. 48 hours. Let's go to 58. What is the benefit of having insurance coverage during the transportation of goods? First things first, repeated question. Benefits of insurance. It compensates the businessman in case of a loss. That's it. That's the reason we have insurance, right? Case of a loss. 59, almost finished. A manifest is a document which shows a list of travelers on board a vessel, no. A summary of the cargo a vessel is carrying. The cost of insurance and B, hands down, B, a summary of the cargo a vessel is carrying. Definitely. And the last question, 2024, which is a repeated question. P. Hawk has a manufacturing business. His raw materials cost $1,900. Rates and rents total to $2,000 and factory wages amount to $2,500. The number of units produced is, so to answer this, we're going to take 1,900 plus 2,000. Right? We're going to plus 2,500. What are you going to get there? Add up all. You're going to add up all. $14 there, 4, 5, 6, 6,400. And what we have to do is just divide it now. 6,400 divide by 640. Sorry, not add, divide. 640. And the answer is $10. That's it. C. 6A, C. Now, please pay attention to the items, the questions that I circled. It means it was repeated. and look at how much circles that I have. That indicates these were repeated questions. When I say repeated, almost every year for OA paper 1, you would see the same questions. You wouldn't even have to read the question. You already know, hey, this is a repeated question. But still read through it because sometimes they change little words. All right. So please remember to subscribe to Early to CXC. And thank you for taking the time to spend with me so we could have gone through 2024, which we completed 60 multiple choice questions. Please share the link and have a good evening. All the best in exams tomorrow. Tomorrow, May the 26th, 2025. Have a good evening, everyone.